Mr. Manning, I understand you were at a meeting in 1952 when it was decided to pursue the notion of forming a football club at Happy Valley.
Yes, it was Brian Sugar's idea. Brian Sugar.
Yes.
The whole Happy Valley, the start of it, come from the old oval, which was opposite Windybanks. That's where the Happy Valley Club was formed in 1952. They'd leased it off the waterworks and built a hall there and what have you, and tennis courts and all that, cricket. But then they bought it back, and then the oval was shifted from there until the new oval. The start of the Happy Valley Football Club was Brian Sugar. He wanted a team, and everybody else wanted to be in a part of it. It was, you know, just the thing.
That club came really out of, in my opinion, was that Ranella played on the Happy Valley Oval while the Ranella Oval was rebuilt for at least one season. And then there was the gap, and then Brian set the wheels in motion to create the club as we know it.
And we played in the hills, Central, that was Clarendon, Kangaroo Meadows, Strathalbyn, Langhorns Creek, Malang, and
Macclesfield,
Harndorf, teams like that. But we played in a B grade, and Brian had an injury, and then he had to have a spell, and Walton Baxter took over as captain. But Walton had number 13, and darned if he didn't get polio. And so we struggled a bit until we got going. We bought our own Guernseys.
So you were that keen to play?
There is a certain amount of history that we don't have, you know.
Yeah.
And it was the president of the Southern Football League that came to me and said, "Did you realise that Happy Valley originally started back in 1893 or something, you know?"
And of course they beat Sturt, I believe.
They beat Sturt in that game.
Yeah. Which is a good bit of information. Where'd you get that from?
I got that from looking through a website called Trove that now has digitised all the old South Australian, all through Australia. It's a National Libraries situation where they've actually done all of the old papers, where you can actually go back and look at them without having to go into the state library. You can do it online, etc., etc.
What does it tell us about
it tells
the
us
1890s?
that the Happy Valley Football, there was originally a club called the Happy Valley Reservoir Football Club that was actually based inside the current area of the reservoir. In actual fact, in part of, they built a shed there, and it was back in the early 1890s. There was a gentleman called, I think it was Mr. W. Shergott, who would have to be, I would say, related to the Shergotts that are currently involved in the Happy Valley Football Club and have been for many, many years. They decided that because of the work that was being carried out at the reservoir, there was enough blokes there to form a football team. So they levelled off an area, and the oval is now actually submerged in the extension of when they extended the reservoir. So
there was 3 ovals, in fact, in Happy Valley.
yeah, the original one for the Happy Valley Reservoir Football Club was built inside the reservoir area. But of course, when they extended that oval was then submerged, as well as the club room, and they moved over to Windy Banks Road, and then to the new one where they currently are now. Much to the disgust of Happy Valley football followers, the original colours of the Happy Valley Reservoir Football Club were red and black.
Is that right?
AC/DC with the Mix 102.3 Classic. It is a long way to the top if you want to get...
Başkanı Celal Talabani'ye birer mektup iletti. ANF ajansına konuşan Karayılan, IŞİD hareketinin Musul'u ele...
What can you tell me about the history of the club?
Not much. Apart from being absolutely amazing in the 90s and winning a lot of premierships, that's about as far as that goes.
So you don't know when the club started or
in
how?
1952. I know it was I always get told that it was a tin shed, just pretty much in a paddock.
They're proud of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The old club was the shed and what the facilities there, they were very, very poor. They would put up new tennis courts and that. But when they moved to the new oval, it absolutely took off.
What do you boys know about Happy Valley Football Club?
Uncle Pat would be really good, mate.
Yeah.
How many games do you play for Valleys?
Oh, I got no idea. All the records got burnt. They had them in a shed down here at...
Do you remember him?
Yeah.
You haven't seen him for a while, have you?
I've seen him for a couple of years.
He was a very, very good footballer, mate. I never seen him play, but he was a very good footballer. Very good footballer.
And everything went up in flames. And they lost the old, all the old original records. They just all got destroyed.
The original minutes still exist, though?
The whole lot, I think.
You take that with you? Look after it?
I believe there was a meeting in 1952
Yeah.
exploring the notion of forming a football club.
My brother was the instigator of that.
How'd that happen?
We were both playing at Renella at the time. And
And what happened? You weren't happy at Ranella, or
yeah, I was. I just started learning what football was all about.
you were how old?
What I'll be then? 18, 19, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think about your brother's idea about?
Uh,
Because it's pretty bold.
no, well, I...
Who's this guy?
started off with
This is Paddy Shergett, real name Colin, and he was a foundation player back in, well, 52, 53. I'm not quite sure when the first game was.
I reckon the first game, played their first games in 53, would be my guess.
I thought it was 53. I think that's when they first started trying to get it up and running again. And it took a few years, as I said.
In the minutes book there, it says that the club was formed in December 1952, which would suggest that the club actually started playing in 53.
53, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't have played as a team without it being formed, one would have assumed, because you have to be in the association, so the team would have had to have been formally formed. So that's an interesting thought, that perhaps the date is wrong.
It's possible. Well, it's one of the interesting things that an exercise like this throws up.
Well, it is.
So this is the uncle of Ross and
Yeah.
Nev, is it?
Nathan Gill was a brilliant player. He captained the side to 4 premierships.
Played in 7, I believe.
Played in 7 with my son, Darren. He played, there was 3 of them, him, Michael Cook, Darren and Darren Spinks played in all
all of the finalists.
They could all play.
They could all play, you know.
Apparently Darren could really play.
He was a very good player, yeah. The association centre half back for many years and life member of the Southern Footy League, and you know, so he was really good. They were all good. They were all good.
You obviously played against guys like Nathan Gill.
Yes, yeah.
They apparently could really play.
Yep, played against all of those boys.
I never saw Nathan play.
Very good player. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did he play? I just know that he's a legend.
Oh, he played half back, half forward, played a bit on ball.
Yeah. And Twigden, Darren Twigden?
Yeah, centre half back, Twiggy.
And apparently he could really play too.
Big boy. Yeah. No, but they were a powerhouse club back in the 90s. Happy Valley, you know, they won like 7 or 8 flags in the 10 years.
And you were playing at the time?
Yes.
Yeah, they were like a steamroller, I think.
Yeah, they were. They were a very good side, you know, like, but, you know, they had a lot of big bodies, you know what I mean? That's what their side contributed around a lot of big guys, and, you know, there's no great secret when you win grand finals is, or to be a successful club, you go into any club in Australia and you have a look at the grand final photos, there's always some big boys in there, you know what I mean? So, and Happy Valley were.
And hard at it.
Yeah, they were.
Certainly was a little, you know, that 90s thing was a bit different to probably what you...
Totally different. When I first come to Happy Valley, which is a social footy club, and they had no juniors, they had no structure. They'd sort of, in fact, the first year I played there in 1974, I come from Marion Footy Club where I'd been for 14 years, and come to Happy Valley, they had no juniors, but it was the best year of footy I'd ever played in. It was a great, I just fell in love with the place. And we won a premiership in '74.
Where was the grand final?
At the old Panthers ground down at, down at Tonsley. And we beat Plimpton by, I think, 6 or 7 points, or, you know, close game. But the following year we lost about 9 players. And then we were playing in Division 3, then we got elevated to Division 2 with basically a B-grade side. So we started to get smashed for quite a few years after that.
It's good for your character.
Yeah.
Yep. What I'd done, I'd started up at Clarendon with my brother. He played there in '47, and the next year I went up and played, had a few games there in '48. I think it was '48, and then we came down and played at Renella.
I mean, it was a pretty bold idea because there weren't actually a lot of people at Happy Valley.
I couldn't believe it. Because I'd stepped into A grade at Renella, and I thought, no, I'm not going back to, you know.
You've just broken into the side,
Yeah. And no, well, if you get enough, I'll join you. Well, they had all the old broken down footballers they could find and everything else, you know.
They were, but everybody wanted to play.
Where'd they get them from?
Finally got it round the district somewhere.
Or probably outside of the district.
Well, they got some from outside, yeah.
The Earl brothers came from over the hill. They were related to the Clars, Ivan.
Which is handy.
And then some of them were mates with the Shergott boys, the Malcolm Jones.
Oh, Ivan Clark, Harold Clark, they were elderly blokes, they were.
So they're really past their best?
Oh, they've gone well past that, yeah. But they all came and made up
a football club?
We played quite a few games with 16 at one stage and all that sort of thing, went through
I mean, both my brother and I and father played in those first few years.
So. Which is remarkable, playing in the same team as your dad?
Well, you know, you've got to remember that association had a lot of fellows that were playing into their 50s. And as tough as nails. I mean, us young ones used to come up and...
Yeah. Well, I was only a lad from 52. But back in the days when you filled in, you were 19th or 20th man when you were 11 or 12 year old. There was no junior football. So, I mean, my first game of football, I can't remember, probably 12.
Playing against men?
Yeah, yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was fun.
It was tough as nails. I mean, me being 14, untrained, go down to pick the ball up and you'd get an elbow behind the back of the head, you know, and you'd end up flat in the face. If you were playing at Kangaroo, you could end up in a cow pat. So.
And you grew up real fast?
No, well, you learn a lot very quickly. Yeah.
Kangaroo was always a muddy because I used to run the sheep on that.
So who got you out? It was your dad said, "Come on, boys."
Oh yeah, we all started the same year, the three of us. So.
Whose idea was it though?
Oh, it was Dad's. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have much choice being kids, you know.
When I used to go to the valley, we didn't know what a football was, because there was, what, about 20 at the school, from grade 1s right through to grade 7s. And I think in grade 7, when I reached grade 7, I think there was, say, 5 girls and 2 boys. And if we wanted to even have a hit with a cricket bat and a ball, we had to play with a softball and ball underarm.
In fact, you'd remember that.
That was the same, yeah. It was the most kids at school when I was there was 31, in 7 grades, 1 teacher. Yeah.
That'd be big, yeah. But the most I ever got there with the 7 years I was there was mid 40s. We got it to 1 year, but that was only for a term because they used to have itinerant workers came in and pick grapes or pruning, and then they disappeared.
Yeah. I was only a boy with 6 girls in my schooling from year 1 to year 7.
Yeah. So when did you get to kick a footy?
Going out with the big boys on practice nights, Tuesdays and Thursday nights.
There you go.
Mm.
That's Bill Manning there in the crowd watching his grandsons.
Grant, my second son, and their children, they're playing. There's 3 playing at the present time, Joshua and the twins.
Brody.
Oh, classic. Ain't got it. You redeemed yourself.
I thought I was going to get slung tugged. Oh, Brad was there, he kept running, so I tried to kick it to him.
At least you got it back. Yes. That would have been
And they under 14s went top last year at South Adelaide. They went top.
You were there?
Yes.
Josh Manning, I think, is the pick of him. He's come on so much. Yeah. He's a really good player. Half-back flanker on baller type, but he's in the last couple of years he's actually growing up.
He's still growing, isn't he?
And he's worked into his body really well, but he's a massive improvement. 2 years ago he was playing Sunday footy.
Happy Valley traditionally strong in the juniors.
Yes, very much so, yeah.
In fact, I believe they are the, Club of the Year?
Yeah, but this year won the Club of the Year, which is for results from all of the grades that they play in. They had the best winning percentage, etc., from their juniors all the way through.
It's got a great tradition here too, so I love it. I guess probably most footy clubs do have, but you know, I love our tradition. And that's what footy's all about, really, isn't it? Footy
History
clubs
and tradition.
Yep. That's why you're protected if you can.
Yeah. Tell me, what position did you play? You obviously weren't rucking.
No, roving. Yes. Roving, centre wing.
Yeah. So when you would have kicked a few goals, and there would have been a cacophony, wouldn't it?
Plenty of honking went on. Yeah, really, that was probably one of the highlights of the, yeah.
I used to say that we always came across, because our house was on the other corner, as you know, from the oval, and we'd come across and we'd sit in the Beanham car and we'd sit there and wait for a goal and toot the horn. You miss that these days.
Paddy could play a bit, I believe.
Yes, Paddy was a rover and...
Uncle Pad, yeah, he was. He was a good player, yeah. He wasn't frightened, no. He was really good.
What he said, he played at Clarendon and then at Renella. I didn't know he played at Renella. Brian played at Renella. And then he come like that, 1952 was the start of the Happy Valley Football. Brian Shergott was the one that was right behind it. There was the Clars, the Earls, Jim Candy from Candy Road, the Candys, Baxter's, Cosy Beanham played, whether his boys played or not.
That was Cosy Beanham and his sons Graham and David.
Oh yes, Cosy and Graham and David.
Now that's my brother there in the doorway.
And you're just over here.
Yes, up against, yeah, we're opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, might have had an argument.
Sorry? 54 photograph, that one.
55?
55, yeah.
Correct way, that's all right. And that's David there, and that's Graham there. Yeah. What position did he play? What position did he play?
David, not sure. Backline, was he? Mm-hmm. And I played either wing or bit of roving, forward pocket.
Mm-hmm. So you would have kicked a couple goals there, would have been
goals. Yeah, a few goals.
A cacophony.
The best effort was 10 goals one day.
Yours? That is a good effort.
Yeah. It was when we were playing Langhorne Creek and old Johnny Potts was in the goals.
Oh yes, so he was a fat Johnny Potts. His mum, I can remember my sister took her umbrella to take her umbrella to his mother once. She was rubbish at her husband. See, Johnny Potts, he was quite a big man he was too, and he was good though. He was good, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I can remember this Mrs. Potts, so she was a real old, well, probably I am too, but she was a real old battle axe as far as barracking for her son.
The winemaker was the owner in those days of Bleasdale, so, and he was still playing. He would have been in his late 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
So tell me about your brother as a footballer. What was he like?
Good. He was a good footballer, yeah.
What position?
And usually ruck, or he could play ruck, centre half back, centre, any in that area, yeah. Yeah, he was a good footballer.
I hear. Yeah. And a good leader?
Yes. Yeah, good leader.
Well, he must have been if he managed to get those boys around to get a club together.
Yeah, no, he was.
Well, Brian was determined they were going to do something about a football club. It was at the back of his mind, I think, all the time, sort of thing, that he wanted to do something like that, and because it just was just sort of Brian. I think he wanted to get the football club, and sort of, and he'd get home from work, perhaps 4 o'clock in the morning. He might have a couple of hours sleep. We'd take first of all, Neville used to go to cricket when he was going to high school. We used to take the girls to basketball, and then quite often we'd finish up, he'd be coming back and playing football after a couple of hours sleep. I mean, how he ever did it, I'll never know. I mean, I tried to burn his boots once because I reckon he should have given it up.
He had an accident with his leg, and he still played after all that, and he's still a good leader. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Brian did pretty well to play on.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was just an accident of one climbing over the fence and got caught and with a finger on the trigger.
The shotgun went off and shot him in the leg. But it was an accident. I mean,
yeah.
But He was very lucky that he even had his legs still.
You had some sort of a plate in it or something?
He had a plate in here, and he had a great big square patch up here that did skin graft. Another one on this leg that he had took skin off him for skin grafts. No, his leg was a mess, I mean, but he didn't let it stop him anyway.
Paddy could play.
Splendid.
What do you know about Brian, your grandfather?
Oh, started the whole club pretty much. He was a good dude, a legend.
He would have told you a few stories?
Oh, yeah. He had plenty of stories, plenty of things to say. Yes. No, he was a good man.
He would have been pleased with having another generation?
Very pleased. He was very proud of him, yes, very proud. Yes, he was.
Well, here's the popular name of the club, Shergett, Justin Shergett. 103 club games, 78 A-grade games.
Very proud, yes.
Neville, Dad, comes to me.
How did he manage to? How did Brian manage to keep playing?
Well, there was a metal plate right down the shin. He just worked on it and he played with a limp. He was still a good footballer.
Must have been a bit heavy, that metal plate.
Oh no, aluminium had been created.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether it was stainless steel or aluminium. I really don't know.
Because it's a bit raw under there, I gather.
He played with like a soccer shin pad over the top. But he never complained. Never.
How'd you guys go in those days?
Oh yeah, we won our share. Yep. We made the finals and semi-finals and different times, but yeah, we should have won one, but we didn't. We got beat in the finish. But
yeah, it happens.
That's the way it goes.
The photo was also taken at Echunga.
Oh yeah.
That was the team we scraped together when a lot of the oldies retired, and it was the grand final day again when we were playing Biggs Flat, which was the amalgamation of Mylor and Echunga.
Echunga had to amalgamate, or for that particular grade?
No, Echunga had to amalgamate because they couldn't even form an A grade that year. And we were a mob of kids apart from, or just a few oldies like Paddy Shergett, Verdi Gunn, two of the older ones that Claude Powell, Don Powell.
It was close, I gather.
Kids. Oh yeah, we weren't thrashed.
And life went on for Happy Valley Football Club, and you had a few beers?
Yeah.
Yep. A few laughs?
Yeah.
Whereabouts did you have the beers and the laughs?
Usually at the, we used to have like a barbecue sort of thing every now and then.
Moved Malcolm Harper and seconded Stan Turner. The club purchased an 18-gallon keg of ale.
So it did get a second?
Yeah. The old man did it.
We didn't have a meeting place like a hotel or anything like they got today.
Or a club rooms?
No, there was nothing like that. No, we used to go over to the old tin shed and have a bit of, that's all we had, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Not like they got today over at the new one.
Yeah. But you probably had some good times in the tin shed?
Oh yeah, we had, it's like all football clubs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's interesting just seeing the facilities there now. Where when we first started out, it was just a gale-proof little garage, which eventually we extended for the lean-to, covered in for the change rooms. Our bar and everything were in the same rooms. Nothing was separate. It was.
You had a bar?
Yes, sort of. Selling bottled beer. I think we made more out of the returns on the bottles than we did for the actual profit over the bar.
And now the club's thriving.
Yeah, yep. Oh, they've gone ahead in leaps and bounds since all the, but you know, like it's different, as I said. Yeah.
Yeah. It was obviously a different sort of career than the one you might have had at Ranella.
Yeah.
Because it's hard yards in the early days, isn't it?
Yes, we were scrubbers.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it became part of the city.
Then that's right. And then all of a sudden it flourished, you know, and things changed, everything changed. Yeah.
That's the first premiership.
1970.
1970, was it? Yeah. Won by a point on the Glenelg Oval.
Right. Who'd you play?
Glandor.
So that was in Glenelg West?
Yeah, Glenelg South West. Yeah, that was the first premiership we played in.
That was a good day?
Oh, it was a good day when we won by a point, yes. Yeah, it sure was.
Because, of course, Happy Valley had an unhappy run of not so successful grand finals.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. They'd organised a past versus present the day on the Sunday after the grand final.
Really?
Nobody said anything about that.
No.
The past players, they give us a hiding.
Is that right?
Bill Manning, he was been retired for about 20 years, I think. He beat us on his own.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was a shocker. I don't know whether anybody felt bad about it as what I did, but I felt bad about it.
Did it?
Yeah. Past versus present. We'd won the grand final the day before, and hell, they give us a high the day after.
Would have been under the influence.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I reckon.
I played footy with Ron years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently he was a pretty good fullback.
Yeah, he had a very beautiful kick. Beautiful kick.
And then we went back to TV3 in 1974 and we went top again.
There's Uncle Pete. There's some crook old hairstyles there, isn't there?
Peter Curtis.
The thing with the Happy Valley was when I first started in 1974, there was no club rooms. We had a tin shed with a Coke fridge and a strip heater on the wall and a shower at the back, and if you were the first or second bloke in, you get a warm shower, the other bloke's got a cold shower. So that was a sort of terrific era, but no facilities. So Gordon Curtis, your grandfather, and myself, and Wal Baxter were on the recreation ground committee and canvassing the council all the time to try and get some better facilities. And we'd go to their meetings every month, and they give us 2 minutes at the end of the meeting to have our say. And finally, I think they got sick of us going there, and they gave us this big tin shed, really big tin shed.
Nice, yeah, yeah.
So all the lads that were playing footy, there was electricians and air conditioning guys and carpenters and stuff, and so we lined it, put a beautiful suspended ceiling and bar and all that sort of stuff in it, built showers and toilet block on the back. And we had as good a facility as anybody in the competition in that time. So that the footy club used to go and pick their team in the Victoria Hotel.
Ah, up the Vic. All the kids would be in cars in the car park with a raspberry and a packet of chips, and we just all run around and play together because you could, you know, back in those days. Didn't you? You used to leave us in the car park because kids weren't allowed in the pub.
No, that's right.
So.
And they'd put their team up on the board at the Victoria Hotel, so anybody wanted to see if they're playing, and go to the Victoria Hotel and have a look at the team sheet.
And great for the pub.
And then all of a sudden, when the club rooms, all these guys at the Victoria Hotel wondered, where's the footy team? So we started to get a few supporters from there come around to the footy club, and it all grew from there. We had our home base, which was good. That's where it all started.
When did you guys go to Valleys?
76, 77.
76. My life membership badge says I got.
No, because we went and watched the double blues all that year. 76 when I won the premiership.
It's got 86 written on it.
Yeah.
And then you get life membership after 2 years?
77, 78, 79, 80,
And
and
that's
1,
still
2,
arguing.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
He's got a point.
So?
We started in 77, Gilbert.
Johnny particularly was a very good player. Gilly was skillful, but Johnny was probably a better player.
Yeah, well, I came back playing in '83, and was still in Division 2 of the Southern Football League.
We had that many jumper changes in the early 80s. And we had some horrible jumpers.
We had one with the yellow with the sash.
Yellow with a black sash. That looked.
Then we had the yellow with the black sort of V thing here. Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Then you had the one with the 2 stripes down the
Stripes
side.
down the front.
And then
Black and yellow stripes down the front.
some of the jumpers look. Yeah, I don't know who the designer was.
And then in 1984, 85, the league said for us to go up.
It's fortunate that we played in an era where, you know, when you play in a 10-year era, we'd seen all the changes. We went from those horrible looking jumpers, and then when they finally settled on the big V, the black with the yellow, it's like, we just couldn't wait to get out in the oval and run around this fantastic looking bloody jumper.
There was something about those jumps, didn't it? We started winning after that.
It just symbolised something that the club had long been looking for. And it came about with that jumper, I reckon. And the build-up of the area, I think the change in the coaching.
People that come to the club.
Yeah, we got people that have more knowledge in football. We had, even though I'm not one for committee people, they had better committees. Everything just got better. And every facet of football life itself. And we lived and breathed football. And we lived and breathed Happy Valley. You know, we would have, you know, gone to hell and back for the Valley jumper.
And you had gone to hell and back, I gather.
But I can remember my first Division 1 game against Rinella. We kicked the first goal and we thought, oh, this is going to be all right. Remember, it was 38 goals sunk to 1 goal 2 after that. And then, you know, 2 years later we beat Rinella out here, and yeah, they were pretty wild celebrations then because we virtually turned the corner. And then from then on, we just got better and better, really, haven't we?
Well, your coaches got better, you got
better coaches,
Paradine, and you got French.
Enticed more better footballers. And we had a purple patch in the 90s, without a doubt. You know, 6 out of
8 years.
8 years is pretty handy.
We had to build up to it though, because in the first years it was very hard because we were playing Division 1 football and we were only a Division 2 side at the time, and we're losing by 35 goals a week to the top sides. And I think it took us 3 years after we got promoted to beat a Division 1 side.
Wow.
Then they got better and better to about 90, and then they got from 92, 93 they won the grand final. Yeah.